now.
It's just, yeah.
It's just, they're not gonna be redoing the Rockaway shore, this is where all the stuff is. Until April
Is that your man right there?
25.
Is that your dude right there?
You know what I was gonna ask on that, you're back, April 20.
April 25 is when they're gonna be redoing the Rockaway.
I'll send them something right now.
We can pick it up.
Okay, I'd like to call the April 9th, 2024 council meeting to order. Start with flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence to remember the service and sacrifices of the armed service members who protect our nation and the first responders who protect our neighborhoods.
Council President, could we also add Sandy Meyer, former council president from Morristown, that passed away on Monday?
Of course. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander.
Here.
Councilwoman Noon.
Here.
Councilman Brooks.
Here.
Councilman Sackett.
Here.
Councilwoman Brooks.
Here.
Councilman Quinn.
Here.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Here.
Vice President Sahlberg.
Here.
President Kritz.
Here. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the Daily Record and the Star Ledger, the official newspapers for the Township of Rockaway. Notice was posted on the official bulletin boards of Rockaway Township, the Township website, and notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk. Before we begin, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mayor Jackson.
Thank you, Council President. What are you guys, the Blondies? Can I get you guys up here? Come on up here, share on camera. So, winning a state championship in any sport is never easy, and ice hockey definitely is a challenge. So come on up and get behind me, and I'm going to call down Councilwoman Brooks. We did a proclamation to acknowledge your victory. Yeah, come on. You guys have taken these pictures before, I know that.
All right, Township of Rockaway Proclamation. Whereas the Morris Knolls Hills hockey team is to be recognized and honored for their outstanding 23-24 ice hockey season, and whereas the excellence, performance, dedication, and commitment of these young men, along with their coaching staff, have proven to be a source of admiration and inspiration to the communities of Morris Hills and Morris Knolls High Schools, and to the citizens of Rockaway Township. And whereas, by their extraordinary efforts, they entered the state playoffs with a record of 8-11-1, and earned the 6th seed for the Public North Co-op section, going on to win their next 4 playoff games. And whereas this dynamic team finished their season with an exciting 4-3 win over Governor Livingston at the Presidential Center to earn their 5th state championship, one of only 5 schools to have 5 state championships in ice hockey. Now, therefore, I, Rachel Brooks, Joe Jackson, Mayor of the Township of Rockaway, do hereby recognize this great accomplishment and commend the Morris Knolls Hills ice hockey team and their coaching staff, consisting of head coach Tim Kepler, Bruce McCarter, Bart Batista, Dennis Crothers, and Connor Rush for their fine efforts, and to extend to them this token of admiration.
So, before we let you sit down, State Senator Anthony Bucco sent me a note, and it says, to the Morris Knolls Hills hockey team, congratulations on your incredible victory in the state championship against Governor Livingston. Your hard work, determination, and skill have brought tremendous pride to your school and the Morris Hills Knolls community. Unfortunately, due to previous engagement, I cannot join you in person to celebrate your victory tonight. However, as a token of my appreciation and admiration, I have the privilege of presenting citations to each member of your team in recognition of this momentous occasion. These citations bear witness to your dedication and perseverance, which resulted in your inspiring win. I hope you will proudly display them as a reminder of your achievement. With this monumental victory, you have not just made a mark, but you have etched your names in the history of our great state. I wish you the best in your future endeavors, Senator Bucco. So congratulations.
Give your kid a kiss.
Congratulations.
Yeah, way to go, way to go. Just wait. Way to go, guys.
Okay.
Way to go, way to go, way to go. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Dyer, while we're waiting for this, the air conditioning turned on yet this year? Just asking?
Sweating.
Not until May 15th. It's like August. It's like August. May 15th.
Okay, moving on to the, hey, where'd everybody go? Moving on to approval of the minutes, the March 26th Township Council regular meeting. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sahlberg,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, that's 9 yeses, motion passes. We're going to move on to the open to the public portion of the meeting. As a reminder, I will call your name. Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and we are limiting comments to 3 minutes at this time. Michael Lordy.
Good evening, Michael Ilardi, 19 North Brookside Drive, Rockaway. Eileen Harwitz told me she sent out an invitation to the Festival Day Parade. I don't know if you all received it. I just want to mention, in case you didn't, it's July 21st. We meet at that same corner at 11:30. So I just want to make sure you're invited in case the paperwork didn't show up. The Walmart retaining wall over at the marketplace, I see that's on the agenda for a snow removal issue, but that entrance has been closed for, I don't know, seems like at least a year or more, where that wall looks like it's buckling some. It's like the Great Wall of Rockaway. But I was just wondering where that stands, because it seems like nothing's been done except closing that off. Again, I want to bring up waste management with the oil leaks. I was just going through my photos. The first one I found was back in September of '22. I have one today. They stop for 3 minutes, and there's a spot like this, which means every single stop, and even when they're driving, that oil is dripping all over the township, into our storm drains, into our lakes. And, you know, when Pat Seeger was here, she got the response from them that they were replacing the trucks the following spring, which would have been the spring of '23, and they didn't want to put any money into them. Well, here we are in the spring of '24, and the same trucks out there leaking quarts of oil every trip through the lake. So something should be done about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody who didn't sign the sheet that wishes to speak? Please step up to the microphone. Just name and address for the record.
Ryan Connell, 247 Russia Road, Oak Ridge, New Jersey. Starts now. I'm here before you today to identify an issue and offer solutions to that issue. The issue is baseball field maintenance. 2 years ago, a player broke his leg sliding into second base at Partnership Field. It took a child breaking a leg before that field was finally addressed. Hopefully, we can avoid future injury by taking steps today towards maintenance and care of our baseball and softball facilities. The dirt fields have been over-dragged, causing a bump to occur where the infield meets the outfield. A visible bump comparable to a speed bump on a roadway, which turns a hard-hit ground ball into a projectile missile. hurling towards the face of 9, 10, 11-year-old outfielders. Go to any baseball or softball field in this town and you'll see evidence of overdragging the infields. What can be done about it? The Peterson project was a tremendous success, and we should look to continue to improve our facilities every year. Flatten the overdragged infield, outfield bump, replace fencing, upgrade backstops, regrade surfaces, lay sod, replace worn grass with synthetic surfaces are all possible solutions. How can those tasks be accomplished? Has the county been consulted about field upgrades? Are grants available? Yes, grants are available. Local recreation improvement grant guidelines. Up to $25 million the state of New Jersey gives out, usually $100,000 awards. I have the packet here. It's due April 16th if our town is going to be submitting for any of this. I'll be happy to hand it off. Can the county assist? Can the state assist? My suggestion for solutions: get on your phones, pull up Essex County Executive Joe DiVincenzo. He's the Essex County Executive. He seems to have it figured out. Every day he's posting on Facebook, visiting fields all over Essex County, touting and boasting about sod being laid down here, synthetic turf being laid down there, upgrading this field, upgrading that complex. Take a look at his Facebook page when you have time. It's impressive. Maybe someone can consult his office for ideas and solutions to our baseball field crisis. On Saturday, April 6th, I wrote an email to members of this town council after my observations of Marcella Field. On Monday, April 8th, I received a response from Business Administrator Paula Cazzarelli outlining the town's procedures for field maintenance. It appears the town has the baseball program handcuffed on antiquated timeframes. Open the fields earlier, please, so we can get these kids on the field and into batting cages, which still aren't set up. We're taking away valuable time from preparing kids for baseball season. Mrs. Cazzarelli also demanded that I submit paperwork to her, which I can't provide because she assumed I run a travel program, and I don't. I'm a parent concerned about hazardous field conditions, who wrote an email to document those issues, offer solutions to those issues, which was met by resistance from a town administrator for me to provide paperwork. I'd like half a paragraph left.
Go ahead.
That's no solution. Ms. Cazzarelli should consult Jefferson Township, Randolph Township, and Denville Township for their field maintenance solutions, because every year their fields are open and batting cages are in place prior to ours. I've offered my help in any way possible. My offer stands. I'm not here for me, I'm here for the kids. Let's work on these field upgrades. There are many other people who stand behind me in this effort, who are willing to roll up their sleeves, pick up a shovel, lend a hand, and give much-needed attention to our baseball and softball facilities. Thank you.
I'll take it. Thanks. Is there anybody else from the public that wishes to speak? Okay. Moving on to ordinances for introduction, O24-08, amending Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-59, Marketplace at Rockaway to add Section 7-59.8 entitled Snow Removal and Stockpiling Operations of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Rockaway. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon?
Yes.
Councilman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Sackett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich?
Yes.
Vice President Sahlberg?
Yes.
President Kretz?
Yes, that's 9 yeses, motion passes. Before we get into the consent agenda, there's another ongoing challenge that we have. I'm going to invite Mayor Jackson to speak on that first.
That wasn't supposed to happen, was it? No. So, many are aware, and I think there was an article recently about the warehouse project going on in Denville. I think the project going in is going to have a real negative impact on many residents in our township, not just in White Meadow Lake, but anybody who goes by that area in the morning. It's kind of funny. My wife and I were off 2 weeks ago on a Friday, and we were on that road, going to Hibernia Road, and there happened to be a tractor trailer stuck in that turn during rush hour. And I'm like, and the guy's like, yeah, there's only going to be, 3 to 7? 3 and 4 out per hour during rush hour, and that won't cause any traffic. So, and there's a lot of environmental issues. They're right next to wetlands, and we just don't, feel, the administration, and I think a lot of the residents of the township don't feel it was a well-thought-out plan, and I don't think they took into consideration their neighboring towns of the borough and the township of Rockaway, and how this project is going to impact our residents, it's going to impact wildlife, it's going to impact the environment. So with that said, we want to present a resolution regarding it and our opposition to it.
I'd like to make a motion on Resolution R-24-78, supporting continued opposition to the construction of a warehouse on Vanderhoof Avenue in Denville Township.
I'll second it.
Second, thank you. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sahlberg,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, that's 9 yeses, motion passes. Consent agenda. A, R-24-69, B, R-24-70, C, R-24-71, D, R-24-72, E, R-24-73, F, R-24-74, G, R-24-75, and H, R-24-76. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sahlberg,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, this 9 yeses, motion passes. Moving on to appointments, Christine Bray, Citizens Recreation Committee, expiring 12/31/24. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sahlberg,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, it's 9 yeses, motion passes. Council, not on your agenda packet, I'm going to make a motion to appoint Bob Norton to an unexpired term, expiring 12/31/24 to the Board of Adjustment.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sahlberg,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we're going to do reports, just to let the public know. After reports, we are going to move into a closed session. I don't anticipate action taken after that as a result of the closed session. And after we're back from that closed session, we are going to adjourn. So up to you if you would like to sit and enjoy the hot air in here. Mr. Dyer, sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. Trust me.
Reports, let's start with Councilman Quinn.
Thank you. Currently working with administration on getting some of the areas at Peterson Field tightened up that were left untightened. So I appreciate all the help that they're giving us. And I also checked with that money that is coming back to us in one of these resolutions. I checked with Lisa that is going back to the rec program for Peterson. Hopefully we can use some of that money to pick up what is missing on Peterson. Also working with administration, the rec committee did come up with the same thing about the ball fields. They're asking that maybe some new clay can also get put down, because dragging it is fine, but new clay would help. Again, the berms have to come down. So that was a big thing on the rec committee we talked about. Other than that, everybody, I'm glad everybody had a good holiday. Everybody had a chance to see the moon get taken over, take out the sun and come back. You know, it was fun. My grandkids loved it. And Peterson is coming along, and I'm looking forward to seeing the new seating for the bleachers. I was there watching a lacrosse game. There was a hiccup with the sign, the scoreboard. I got an email that that was taken care of today. So I'm hoping when I'm there again that the scoreboard's working, because the parents on both sides were saying, "What's the score? Where are we?" And the refs had to try to get it out there, but, you know, we're getting there, slow but sure. And other than that, thank you. Have a good day. And, oh, Lil Sweet, happy birthday, Lil. I know you're watching. I'm not saying her age. I'm smarter than that. Believe me, I know better than to say a woman's age. Lord, I've lived long enough.
Councilman Sackett, if you could shut his microphone, that'd be great. You're up next, Councilman.
No report, thank you.
Thanks for getting us back on track, Councilman.
Jack took all my time, no report.
Wow. Councilman Matovich?
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Councilman Freelander?
Just one, because all the other meetings are after this tonight. Last night, Historical Society had another meeting, but presentation by Ingrid Sushi. She does a lot with cooking and candle making from the Revolutionary period, and it was in our illustrious room here, and there were over 30 people. That was that, and we did have a water meeting. We're putting all the facts together for all the lakes, and Councilman Salberg could confirm that, and that's it.
Councilwoman New?
The only thing I have is a couple of meetings back, I asked about a telephone pole on Rockaway Road in 46. There was an accident, and the telephone pole is just laying there. Somebody was supposed to check into it, so if I can have an update.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back with our government representative and find out what happened with that.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman?
Not too much. So, first things first, the local Board of Education meeting is next Wednesday, the 10th, in the CMS cafeteria at 7:30. And then also, 'tis the season, everyone is de-winterizing their boats, their campers, their RVs. And I think it would be really helpful if the administration or someone could maybe put out a reminder of what is allowed and what's not allowed. I'm seeing campers, I'm getting some complaints, campers and RVs are parked on streets, boats, so I get it. People are bringing them maybe out of storage and whatnot. And I know there's an ample amount of time that they can be maybe sitting somewhere or where is appropriate on their property. So if we could maybe just put a reminder out to the community on what that is so that they're aware. But it is the season. That is all I have.
Council Vice President?
Nothing to report.
Okay. I know everybody's joking about it, but I do know that the massive natural disaster that we suffered through last week, the earthquake, we do joke about it, but I called the mayor, he didn't even feel it, and I said, either we had an earthquake or God forbid something blew up. And I'm sure the police dealt with a ton of phone calls and things like that. So, if you want to call it a dry run for, again, God forbid that we do need to mobilize or do something. But I do want to thank the police and the fire department for their attention and reaction to that. Mr. Yachafano?
Thank you, Council President. Very briefly, because I'll talk a lot more about in closed session. Last week, we got notified that the town prevailed on 2 government record council complaints that, not surprisingly, were filed by Mr. Tucker Kelly in November of 2021. In both cases, when GRC complained dismissing Mr. Kelly's complaint, which took, nearly 3 years to adjudicate, it seems that Mr. Kelly filed these complaints. The town is obligated to defend the complaints, spend money on the complaints, and then never pursue them. So that's where we are. We also have a new GRC complaint from Mr. Whitty. This is a replay of something that was popular in around 2019, 2018, where Mr. Whitty has requested or did request on several occasions a copy of the grant budget that, as you know, is for the council only. Our township clerk, Everett Full, properly responded to Mr. Whitty that the information was advisedly complicated and deliberative. That didn't satisfy Mr. Whitty, so he has filed a GRC complaint, and we'll be dealing with that.
As a reminder, we introduced the budget at the next meeting, right, Ms. Palmieri?
We introduced it last meeting.
I'm sorry, we approve it at the
We
next
will be
meeting.
adopting it
Yes.
next meeting.
Sorry. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah. Couple things first. Hello? There we go. Were you an 8th grade Rockets coach this year? Yeah, I knew I recognized you. You kind of stand out, you know what I mean? So I will tell you, right, being a longtime member of recreation coaching and things of that nature, it's one of the key drivers in my mayorship, I hope, is to renovate our recreation field. So it's not just baseball to me, it's everything, right? It's lacrosse, soccer, football. And I know you weren't at the last meeting. At the last meeting I discussed, so I met with Dave Dyer, our recreation director, Allison Ferrante, our engineer, and we're talking about field maintenance. You know, again, not just baseball fields, every field. How are we going to better maintain them? We're looking at bringing in, you know, and maybe it is going to another town and just finding out what types of things they do to better maintain the fields than what we're doing. We talked about a water truck that we have and possibly watering the fields more frequently, things of that nature. So I am very serious about it, and it's very important to me. It's going to take a little bit of time for us to figure it out. And I see a lot. I read your email. I think you have a lot of, you know, good points, but we got to work through it all. You know, I think sometimes things seem simple, but they're not always that simple. But I think working with people like you, we can make things happen and change for the better. So more to come with that. We're still going down the path of you know, really identifying how we can make the fields better. And with that said, I wanted to, you know, I got calls over the weekend all about Norway Field, and a lot of things being said and rumors being spread. I just want to be very clear, right? The township was in a long-term lease with Norbu for that field. I think it was over 20 years at this point. And they basically put it up for sale without any consultation with us, without having any conversations with us. And we've already adopted our, you know, we've already approved our budget. It's getting adopted at the next meeting. And to be able to just pull $500,000 out of the air to buy the field doesn't seem feasible to me. We're looking at all our options. Paula has been in constant contact as much as possible with the real estate agent. Again, they just went out and got a real estate agent. They didn't talk to us or anything. So I actually met with the head of soccer last week and talked about where we're at, because I think they use it the most. I think they might be the only people that use this. Lacrosse use it? Yeah, they're the only ones. So I had a long meeting with him. We talked through it. I told him my position, and he was in full support and understanding that, you know, we can't just spend $500,000 to keep that field. So I wish it would have been handled differently, but it wasn't. So I'm not sure. I'm not saying we're not going to keep the field. I'm not saying there's nothing we can do, but you know, that's where we're at. We're looking at it and what could be a potential solution. Last week we had a retirement in the building. Stephanie Cicchetti retired, longtime employee here, and she did a great job for us. And now she's gone. So, and then this Saturday went to the Hibernia, or was it Sunday? Went to the Hibernia first day of fishing. And it was fantastic. It was funny. They just, I never realized there was such good fishing behind there, behind the firehouse. And there were a lot of, I'm assuming they were trout. I'm not a fisherman. They look like trout, that they caught a lot of in the breakfast. Just going to say, the other fire companies better
step up their game because they take orders at the Hibernia pancake breakfast. You don't just get a tray of whatever there is, so I was very impressed with that. And, had a good turnout. A lot of people were there. And then I'd like to just read a couple of emails we got from Samia, who ran the Ramadan festivities at the senior center. So she said Mayor Jackson, Councilman Freelander, Councilwoman Brooks, Paula, Allison Lombardo, Susan Gabe, and Dave Dyer. As Ramadan comes to a close and we get ready to celebrate Eid al-Fitr tomorrow, I wanted to send a belated thank you for all your help and support in the event in March. It was an amazing and joyous start to our month, and I look forward to working together on more events in the very near future. In the spirit, I will be dropping off some sweet and savory cookies at the municipal building, and I had some, and they were quite good. And then we got another letter from or an email from a resident. So, dear Mayor Jackson, I would like to tell you about a very good experience I had today when I visited the building department. Over the course of 2 years, I've been working through various community boards, government agencies, DEP, and working with engineers and architects to build an addition on my home. The process has been long and often frustrating, so when I finally assembled all my plans and documents to apply for the building permits, I assumed it would be a stressful process going to the building department. I met with Shelley Kahn and Lou Turk. It was the most painless and helpful part of the last 2 years of effort. Both Lou and Shelley were totally gracious and patient in guiding me through the documentation submission process. It was totally unexpected and tremendously appreciated. This singular experience with city government created such a positive response in my day. I've been telling all my friends and family about my visit to the building department as if it was the highlight of my year. Thank you for the great efforts you and your team are making in local government. Sounds like the voice of experience there, but anyway, and that's all I have.
Ms. Cosarelli?
Bring this over here. Thank you, Council President. Just a couple quick things. Thank you, Mr. Connell, for the information on the local recreation improvement grant. So the township has applied for this year, and the application, as you know, was for Telemark Park, but I appreciate, listen, we are always open to ideas, as the mayor said. I also just want to point out there's a resolution on here for a LEAP grant, which is a Local Efficiency Achievement Program grant. It's an implementation grant. So what this is that I've asked the Township of Denville to enter into. The state of New Jersey is encouraging shared services. The meaning behind a shared service is that two municipalities can come together and share the cost of a service rather than one municipality bearing its full cost. One of the parameters of the grant is to share equipment, jet vac. So the township has talked to our DPW superintendent, Al, has spoken to the superintendent in Denville. I spoke to the administrator, and we're on board for entering into a shared services agreement that has to be for a term for 5 years for a bulldozer cost, and so by the time this whole process goes through and by the time we are able to purchase that bulldozer, it'll probably be about $188,000. So the state of New Jersey will grant up to 75% of that amount. 12.5% will be put in by Rockaway, 12.5% by Denville, and then this way we may be able to use the bulldozer to assist with leveling out ground. Maybe we can level out those berms. Level out, take down trees removal. So it's a big piece of equipment that costs a lot of money that we can certainly share and take part in. It's not something you typically purchase or, it's more of a desirable piece of equipment to have. And if the state of New Jersey will support our application submission, that would be wonderful. I just want to bounce off Councilman Quinn. We had many residents in front of the library. The library was serving moon pies and tang for the solar eclipse, and they were also serving another item, and I can't remember, something solar related. Yes, thank you, Councilwoman Brooks. Sun chips. So that was very well attended, and it was very nice to see everyone. The employees went out. We had a welder shield to look through. Our animal control officer had that. I guess he's a welder outside of doing that. I don't know. Okay, I don't know why he's got a welder shield. I don't know what's going on there, but in any event, things are continuing to move forward. You know, I'm here 6 months now, and I've been learning a lot, and now we're starting to get really into the weeds of operations, efficiency, and of course, you know, bringing your plans to fruition. So thank you very much.
Actually, to add on to your conversation, if anybody doesn't know, I'm in retail, and true fact, last week, Eclipse gum sales were up 169%. For whatever reason, yeah, why not? That was a missed opportunity on their part. Ms. Palmieri.
Just want to mention, I'm not sure the public's aware, the introduced budget is posted on our township website under the government transparency section, if anybody wants to review it prior to our adoption on next meeting. As John had said, as Mr. Yachafano had said, the working document is not subject to Oprah. However, the introduced budget is available for inspection. Thank you.
Ms. Ferrante?
Yes. Excuse my voice. I do want to make a comment on the infamous Walmart wall. We have had it closed, actually since 2019, so I thank you for your patience. We've been after them with notices of violations. We've made them obtain a number of engineers study that wall. In the studies included putting surveying targets or monuments on them and monitoring the movement over the years, as well as potential sources of unintended pressure on the wall. Both their engineer and we actually had them do a peer review and have a second engineer look at the wall, and both of them conclude that the wall is stable and not moving. They did recommend repairing the top columns. They were tilted. They also recommended putting boreholes in there, which they've done to give relief on any poor water pressure behind the wall. And the last, one of the last ones is when they were doing their investigation, they found out that the operators on site stockpiled snow above the wall. This is unintended for pressure above the wall, so they've now said you cannot do that. And so we've got to make sure that they don't do it now or in the future, and that's what the ordinance is related to. Yes, since 2019. And that's it for my report.
Chief?
Mr. President, I'd just like to say that we've had a busy couple of weeks between the heavy rainstorms, the winds, and naturally the earthquake. Fortunately, we did not suffer any injuries to any residents. The only major incident of damage was a tree came down on Gatos that hit a carport and also damaged a truck underneath it. But besides that, no reports of any major damage. Two of the highlights for the past couple of weeks was back on the 27th, our officers made an arrest for a car thief. He attempted to steal a dump truck down Blackwell Street, and somehow in his attempt to get away with it, he drove it into the Rockaway River and abandoned it in the river. Then the other good arrest that the officers have made was back this past Saturday, where they caught a 39-year-old resident of Dover who had committed multiple burglaries to, once again, unlock motor vehicles. So once again, if you can remember, make sure you lock your cars at night. But other than that, we're managing to get along.
Mr. Dyer?
Good evening. Councilman Quinn, that was just a breaker that broke for the scoreboard there. So we fixed the breaker. Okay. And also in 2023, as you all know, we had a recreation grant that we got approved for, that we did a playground set. So just to educate those folks that aren't educated on how our field is prepared, for anyone out there that will have a game on a Sunday morning, if you drive by that field on a Saturday afternoon, that field is not going to be prepped, for the reason that if it's prepped and cut and lined with the chalk, it's going to get destroyed overnight. So if anyone out there has any folks that are saying, hey, this field's not prepped, we're not playing, go back that very morning, and it's going to be lined and prepared. Unfortunately, our guys did go out on Sunday morning, prepped the field, prepared it, and no one played on it. So I think this is a great opportunity that there's light shined on our travel program that is using our fields, not paying any money for our fields, using our men to line those fields and not giving any money. So I'd be happy to work with the ordinance committee and administration and the mayor and look into, yes, there needs to be more manpower, but I think the free ride should be over, and our travel programs, who do have the name Rockaway in front of them, have no relation to Rockaway whatsoever. They could be Jones Baseball. They have separate insurance. They have zero to do with Rockaway Township. It's a private club team, travel team. So just a little education on how fields are prepped. Come back the next morning and it'd be prepared. And again, we had paid a DPW employee to come in to prep it, and no one used it. So that's all I have.
Mr. Knopf?
Yeah, the road department is getting roads ready for capital paving, storm basin repair. We're prepping class 5 dirt roads, getting them rehabbed. We're starting street sweeping shortly, cleaning up storm basins. Water department is currently having well 10, all the electrical installed on it. We're getting ready to actually turn it on and get it water pumping shortly, hopefully. Parks Department is continuing getting our parks ready, getting all the ball fields straightened out, and getting all the small pocket parks and stuff ready. That's it.
Mr. Coward?
Nothing to report.
Okay, before I make the motion to go into closed session, I'll remind everybody, we're gonna go into closed session, anticipated time, every 30 minutes or so. If we're gonna be more than 30 minutes, we'll come out and let anybody know if they're still here. And then when we come back, we will adjourn. Make a motion on R 2477, resolution authorizing an executive closed session in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act to discuss personnel matters and pending potential litigation.
I'll make the motion.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Solberg,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes. Motion passes. make a motion to return from an executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yeah.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Selberg,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, it's 9 yeses, motion passes. Make a motion to adjourn. Consensus? Aye. Thank you.
Good job, team.
Mr. President, I'll